Good morning and welcome to this 15 to 20 minute yoga practice designed to help wake up the body first thing in the morning. So we're going to start lying down on our backs and we'll have the knees bent and just get comfortable here. So adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the hips, maybe lifting the tailbone a little bit and settling in. Allow your hands to rest on your belly. And just breathe. Taking some focused, conscious breaths in the morning. It's a really good way to just set your day, to become present, and allow the breath to move more fully. So as you allow your inhale to lengthen, feel the belly move up against the hands. And notice that falling away as you exhale. And then we'll pull the knees in towards the chest. You can take one hand around each shin or even back behind the thighs if that's more comfortable for you. And then point and flex through the feet, getting some movement in the toes and the ankles. And then rock a little bit side to side here. And then let the feet come back flat to the floor, hands to the belly, just for a moment. And from here, we're going to take the legs straight up towards the ceiling. So you may feel really tight behind the knees, so maybe the legs don't straighten all the way. Let that be okay. And we're just going to bend and straighten the legs here. So sometimes if I wake up in the morning and I'm really tight from a workout or from a long day at work, I just want to move the legs in this way a little bit. So again, if your legs don't straighten all the way, don't worry. Just one more, and I'm moving my feet too, kind of pointing and flexing my toes. And then we'll place the feet back flat to the floor. We're going to thread the needle here. So you'll take your left ankle across that right thigh and allow this foot to flex a little bit here. So toes are drawing back towards the knee. You may choose to stay right here. You can even gently press that left thigh away from you. Or you'll hug the knees in towards the chest, clasping the hands behind that right hamstring. And then just rock the head a little side to side, can feel really nice. And then holding right in the center, allowing the breath to remain long and deep. Your next exhale, maybe you want to pull the legs a little closer, keeping the shoulders softening towards the floor. And then release. So release the hands, release the feet. And then we'll move to the other side. So that right ankle comes across. And again, choosing to stay right here, just gently pressing the leg away. Or hug the legs in, grabbing on behind that left thigh. Again, feet are flexing. Breathing deeply. And you may notice that one side feels tighter than the other. I know for me, this is my tight side. So it's totally normal. Allow a little bit more softening here. One more breath. And release the hands and release the feet. And now getting a little bit more movement for the low back, for the hips. We're going to bring the legs into a tabletop position here. Flex your feet. Let the arms come out to your sides. I like to draw my shoulder blades down a little bit. And we're going to move the legs. So let the legs kind of squeeze in towards one another here. And you're going to inhale. As you exhale, you're going to let the legs drop over towards the left, not too far. And then bring them back up to center. And then over to the right. So I like to move with my breath, just inhaling up to center and exhaling to this side. You may notice some tension in your low back or mid back here. Just getting some movement. And then as we come down to the right side, we're going to let the legs come all the way to the floor. If the floor feels really, really far away, you can place a block or a pillow under your legs. And then we're going to soften the shoulders and soften the legs. And again, breathe right into the center of the body here. You'll feel those tight muscles expand. And as you exhale, just relax. Maybe that right hand wants to rest on your thighs. One more breath here. And then we'll start to engage in the feet. Bring the legs back to center. You can adjust the head or the hips, anything that needs to be adjusted, the shoulders. And then as you exhale, let the legs drop over towards the left. And again, soften the shoulders. Let the legs relax. And that left hand can rest on the thighs. Breathing deeply right into the ribs, into the belly. And in this pose, sometimes we like to gaze out across whatever that extended arm is. And that's good if that feels okay for your neck. Otherwise, you can stay looking straight up. You can lift the head and adjust it if you need to. And last breath in. And then starting to engage in the feet. Bring the legs back up to center. Hug the knees into the chest one more time. Maybe rock a little side to side. And then roll over to your side. And we're going to come all the way up to sit. And I'm going to face you. And we're going to cross the legs. Let there be a little flex of the feet, flex of the toes, and sit up really tall. Let your hands press into the floor. Let the shoulders roll back. And just breathe. So allowing the spine to lengthen up, crown of the head lengthens up. And we're just going to walk the hand out to the side. Let that opposite arm come up. And breathe into that side rib. Notice if the hips want to come up with you and anchor the hips down. And imagine that your breath is coming in and all the way down to that opposite hip. One more breath. And then as you inhale, come all the way back up to center. Release that arm. Maybe roll the shoulders. And then we'll start to walk that other side out. And you want to pay attention to the shoulders rolling back here. They may tend to want to kind of crunch up towards your ears. Keep them softening. Again, let the hips anchor down. Breathe deeply. Imagine that breath is traveling all the way down through that hip. And last breath. And then inhale, come back up to center, release that arm. And then from here, we'll just walk the hands forward. So you may choose to stay right here. If you're really tight in your back or in your hips or in the legs, you're going to want to stay right here and breathe. Just imagine that breath traveling all the way down to the tight places. And as that inhale comes in, it expands. And as you exhale, you soften and relax. Or you may choose to come forward a little bit more. I may be coming out of your frame right now. So just get to that place that feels like the furthest you want to go. Maybe the elbows want to come down. Maybe you want to rest your head on a block, a pillow, or the hands. Wherever you land, just breathe and know that you don't have to go any further from where you are. And last breath. And then we'll start to walk the hands back in. You're going to lean back. And we're going to switch the crossing of the legs. So lean back. Just let the opposite leg come in front. And sit back up nice and tall. This time we're going to take it to the other side first. Bending into that side. You may find that you have a little bit more range here. Maybe you want to bend the elbow. Let the shoulders roll back. Anchor that hip down and breathe. Maybe you want to take a movement with the head gazing down or up. Not moving into any areas of pain or extra attention, just releasing anything that feels like it wants to move. Maybe your arm wants to be out here a little bit more. Honor that. And then inhale, come back up to center and to the other side. So today's practice really is intended for a day that just feels like you don't want to move a lot, or you feel really tight, maybe you're sore. I encourage you to come back to this practice anytime you need to. Keep the breath moving. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And again, we're going to come forward. Taking it slow, little steps at a time. If you're already really open and you want to just fold into this and give into this, honor that. I tend to be a little bit more open in my hips, so I can come down a little further. It doesn't make me better at this than you. It just means that my body's a little bit different. And we're all working to make space. The most important thing is that we're focusing on the breath, allowing the breath to be full and deep. One more breath here. And then walk that in. And then from here we are going to move into a downward facing dog. So coming over to your hands and knees. Walk the hands forward a little bit, curl the toes under, and then lift the hips. Start to push the mat away as if you were trying to push the mat away. Allowing the knees to be bent as needed, adjusting the feet hip distance. And then we'll pedal out the heels here. So just allowing one heel to reach towards the floor, bending the opposite knee. And then switching that. Just moving a little bit side to side. Just relieving the back of the legs. And then let the heels, both heels, start to melt down. Make sure the head is in line with your arms, with your biceps. And then coming down to the knees, to that tabletop position. Uncurl the toes. Bring the knees side by side. And we're going to start to sit back on the heels. For many of you, this may not even be a comfortable place to be. You can sit on a block or a pillow. Let the shoulders roll back. Just giving some compression for the legs. And then coming forward. Let's go ahead and come to the belly so you can walk the knees back a little bit. Come all the way down. Make a pillow with the hands and rest your forehead. You can shift the hips a little side to side. And then we're going to bring the hands by the side ribs. Let the shoulders roll back a little bit. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. And then let the forehead come down. And then if it's available, we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. Roll the shoulders up towards the ceiling, up towards one another. If this is not accessible to you, place the backs of the hands on your sacrum and think of lifting the elbows and the shoulders up. Also think of pressing the pubic bone down towards the floor. And your next exhale, release the hands back. Make a pillow, rest your forehead. And we'll do that one more time. Bring the hands by the side ribs, roll the shoulders back, lift your heart. And you may choose to stay right here or reach back, clasp the hands, roll the shoulders up and back. And exhale, release. This time we'll come all the way down, turn one cheek to the floor. And then bring the hands by the side ribs. We're going to push back up to that tabletop position. And downward dog once more. Knees to the floor. We're going to come to sit. And bring the legs out in front of you. Scooch forward. I'm going ahead and lie down once more. Hands to the belly. Let the shoulder blades draw down. This time we'll let the knees drop in towards one another. Pausing here where we started to just breathe. You can stay here for a little bit longer if you would like. Or once again, we'll roll over to our side. Coming back up to that cross-legged seat. And bring the palms together at our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Namaste.